if elections were to be held next year in 2026, do you think Riek Machar will get majority of the votes if he was to be one of the presidential candidates? Let's say with Salva Kiir.
Riek Machar versus Salva Kiir.
Yes, at the moment. And then Bol Mel go head to head with Machar. Let's say it was Riek Guy Cook versus Bol Mel Puot Kang versus
Puot Kang versus
Bol
Bol
Mel.
Mel.
Welcome to Jimosi podcast. So today we'll be covering one of the topic here. And the question is, if elections were to be held next year in 2026, do you think Riek Machar will get majority of the votes if he was to be one of the presidential candidates?
Okay. So I think we have to pair him with someone else.
Okay, let's say with Salva Kiir.
Riek Machar versus Salva Kiir.
Yes, at the moment.
I would rather not vote. None of them will get my vote. Because so far we've seen them in this arena. And they have never put anyone's interest above their own. Yeah.
So you will invalid your vote.
If there's a third party, I'll vote for the other person.
If there are only two presidential candidates. In most countries, there's always two people.
I would pass.
Okay, the thing with making your vote invalid is that you let other people decide on your behalf. Sometimes they say, better the devil you know than an angel that you have not met. So you see there. So take, for example, if you say if it is Riek and Salva Kiir on the same ballot paper, I'm not casting my votes, then the supporters are going to cast their votes, and whoever win, one of them is going to rule the country. And you see there, your votes, you have thrown it away.
Will not count.
Yeah. So when you are put in a situation like that, you have to. Yes, they are all devils,
Why
but you have to make a
only
decision.
The two of them.
Because that's the one with the majority of the parties.
No, but we have some other people who are vote swingers, right? If they were to join that race. Because right now I feel most South Sudanese are pissed with these two individuals. It's either you are pro-Riek or pro-Salva Kiir. But then if you look at their track record, clearly they have not done enough for the country. And it seems like, I don't know how Riek supporters are going to take this, but I feel like Riek has been really eyeing on the presidency for so long. It kind of appears like some sort of selfish interest.
Everybody
because what
position.
He wants the opposition, and we don't know what he's going to do if he gets that position. Yeah. So it's not like he's going to do some magic of transforming the country and stuff. Because if he was to do some transformation, he would have done so, even in his current position that he has. Yeah. And then Kiir, we've seen him for the last 20 years. No change.
So for me, if they are the only candidates that will be on the ballot,
who takes your vote?
I will have to make a decision. I will not how do you call it? Invalid or void?
Okay.
Yes, I will not destroy my votes. Let's just put it that way. Because I don't like two of them. I don't like two of them to begin with because Salva Kiir had his 20 years of leadership. Not much has happened in South Sudan. And if Salva Kiir, let's say South Sudan got independent in the 60s, and then Salva Kiir took over, we could say at that point, there were not a lot of things happening in the world. There were no even mobile phones, cars reaching to Africa were not there. There was no electricity in most part of Africa. So we could say, up to 80s, we can't really blame him. But he got the power in 2005 when everything had really opened up.
South Sudan mobile phones.
South Sudan could easily order anything that they want to develop their country from anywhere in the world, and then they will get it. When Africans were building roads, material were easily available. So it took the leadership at a point that things could be easily
Things
be
were
done.
easier, yeah.
And when we got independence, the self-declaration in 2011, it was even much easier. See the kind of cars that people were driving in 2011 to attend that celebration of independence. You see the big cars that they were driving?
Yeah.
Look at other countries that got them in the 60s. They were driving some small things. Yeah, they were not even looking at cars. But those countries are ahead of us. Yet they might have a long time for stability, but still you got the power when things have really changed in the world.
Yeah.
So that's why I will not vote for Salva Kiir, because he had time to change things.
Okay.
For Riek Machar, at the same time, I'll not vote for him because through his life, in every conflict that has always happened in the South, is always the constant in all the conflict. So there have been that political, there has been that history of conflict that is related to him. In 91, it was the main factor. In 2013, it was another factor. In 2016, it was the one. So you see, when you are the constant in everything, sometimes it's always you that's the problem. In 91, Salva Kiir was not the leader of the SPLM. It was Garang. In the 2013 and 2016, yes, it's Salva Kiir.
Yeah.
But look at his own political party. When the 2013 war broke out, he went with almost all the Nuer, because it seemed like it was a Dinka versus the Nuer. So he went with all his people. When the peace agreement was signed either in 2015 or 2016, and then they came back.
2018.
No, they came back in 2016 before another fight.
Yeah, no, but they revitalized peace agreements.
Yeah, but there was what I'm trying to say is related to the 2015-2016 one.
Okay.
When that peace agreement was signed, he came back with all of them, including Taban Deng Gai, who's now the current vice president among the five. When those turmoils started in 2016, he left, and then Taban remained. Nobody killed Taban because he's a Nuer. Other Nuer leaders also remained, like James Hoth. Nobody killed them because they are Nuer. So this one has never been, as much as people put it Dinka and Nuer, it is never Dinka and Nuer. It is more of like
political
interest of individuals from these two communities. So to me, these are some of the reasons why I will not give to any of them. But if I have to make a decision that is only two of them, I will not invalidate my votes. I'll just do it secretly, and I will vote for one of them at the ballot.
And then you contribute to those issues.
Yes, and then I
would rather vote for like an MP and then leave the presidential seat.
Well, I will vote secretly for any of them.
Okay.
So because
let's put it.
Other people will make decisions on your behalf if you don't even vote for any of them, and they're still going to rule you. So you either choose in your heart who you like. If it is Riek, it's Riek. If it is Riek, it's Riek. If it is Salva Kiir, it's Salva Kiir. You make your decision. But let's say, for example, with what have been happening recently, with Salva Kiir bringing Bol Mel closer to him. Let's say, for example, in 2026, if election were to be held, Salva Kiir stepped down as the chairperson of the SPLM and let Bol Mel take the lead of the party, and then Bol Mel go head to head with Machar.
I'll go for Bol Mel.
Why would you go for Bol Mel?
Okay, the thing is, Bol Mel, I know he's very corrupt. Like, I've read so many scandals about him. But then he's a young person.
Who are those people writing those articles, those things that you make a conclusion that is corrupt? Who are the people writing them?
Other people on the ground know that person is very corrupt. But then if you look at the kind of energy that he brings to the table, ni mtu mwenye anajituma sana. He's very, I would say, kind of disciplined and then aggressive in going for what he wants. So if he's going to try and improve the system, like improve the state of the country, then I would rather go for him. It's not that because he's a Dinka versus Nuer, but because Riek has his own issues, right? And
They're all doctors.
time and again, you've seen like this other person has not been doing anything to help the situation. And then like back when I think we were discussing about whether Kiir is grooming Bol Mel to be the next president. And then I said nope, because of ABCD, right? And then we talked about the SPLM hierarchy and stuff. But then shortly after, he had promised to be paying the civil servants by the 24th day of every month, starting in March. And then a few days later, I think around February, Akalipa, March, Akalipa. So like at least he's trying to do something. And he's also very present on the social media. So most likely he'll be getting like information and looking at the grievances of South Sudanese globally. And then hopefully he'll kind of try to put them into consideration during his leadership.
Yeah, so if it was to be two of them and I'm voting yes, I will vote for Bol Mel.
Why?
This guy, sometimes you have to learn something from somebody as much as people have negative things about somebody. Look, when J. Chamer, the Lost Boys, went to wherever they went, Panyunduk or wherever, they went, all of them. Salva Kiir did not know Bol Mel. How Bol Mel worked out his way up to his current position is something to be appreciated. Bol Mel was not just sitting somewhere and then somebody say, Bol Mel, come. You seem like a leader. No, there might have been things that he have done that made him to be brought closer. And like some of the things that you mentioned, when he became whatever, the vice president for the economic cluster, he worked with other ministers and stakeholders to bring this issue together. Once he allocated some money, he talked with people that allocate money and say, let's allocate 60 billion SSP for agriculture. When he was not holding that position, when Waniga was holding it, another vice president around there, they did not propose anything in 2023. In 2024, because I think he proposed that one in 2025. So in 2024, no one did. 2023, no one did. And going back all the way. And those people were holding those positions. He came in, he let focus on agriculture so that we can produce what we eat. And he made the allocation, or he proposed the allocation to be made. That is his effort.
And they actually bought trucks.
Yes.
For farming.
Yeah, as much as I can have discussion of how those one can be misused or the proper way of using them, I have my opinion on it. But let's now focus on
At least you can see them physically, they are there.
Yes.
So either they will be misused or not. It's now on those who are given the need to be held accountable.
Yes. And then for the salaries, like I was reading an article the other day, and they were saying that that is actually that money is being paid. Okay. Civil servants are getting their money. The only issue at the moment is that South Sudan that does not have enough cash, like currency
in reserve.
Yes, it's like at the bank. Those ones are not there because everything money. Money is just a number. If you look at it critically, it's just a number, unless when it is produced as a piece of paper or as that one, it's piece of paper anyway. Yes, it's either a number. When it is in the system, it's just a number.
Yeah, in your online banking.
Yes. So what they're doing, if you are supposed to get your 30,000, they're actually putting your 30,000 in the bank account. Yeah. But when you go to the bank, the people at the bank say we don't have cash right now. But your bank account is showing your money is there. So they can work on the cash part. And that's why the other day, they issue a directive that if you are holding cash at home, will arrest you or they will do something that will get hold of you for that. Okay. And there are so many ways of letting those money become useless. You introduce a new currency, so that the old currency that you're holding at home become useless, is no longer accepted, right? And people will bring them. They're given timeline. So that one. So
they take them to the bank and then.
Yes. So that one is there. It's having a political appearance. Like every time there's his call, he come and he put in his voice. He let people know what he want to say. There are these leaders that do not talk to us. Salva Kiir do not talk to people. They only talk to people when
addressing major issues,
like when people say he's dead, when some other small issues or the big issues to him.
You see, that's why I'm against these old people, because they don't have the energy and the zeal to do things.
Yeah, so let me
Continue.
Point here.
Okay, Angosha, drop it.
Yeah, so you see, all these things that I've mentioned, these are the two leaders that we compared before. None of them was doing them.
Yeah.
And this guy have energy to do it.
True.
Yes, people talk of corruption. I can see you driving big cars and I say you are corrupt because I'm not working hard the way that you are working. And there are a lot of things that have been said about it. It's not like I'm defending him because I'm not looking at the books of where he was given money. Let's take, for example, people talk of Barkazal Road, that he was given that and nothing happened. We have not looked at.
Kuna yenye niliona, I think, on South Sudan Global on YouTube, aliandika Barkazal Road, the road to nowhere, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you in a channel pesa kwa mdomo ya.
Yeah, it's just people making things, because the way these things work, if you do not know the way, you have not looked at the contracts of the government, then you don't have just to be talking, because the money has to come from the treasury of the government. That, let's say, $3 million has been released to Bol Mel to go and make this section of the road. We have surely given him. He has not done it, but the government just saying the contract is given to you. If you have not given money to go with it, then you cannot do anything, right? So this here say a lot of things. If you have not looked at the book, then they're just going to be stories. That's the way that I take it.
Yeah, but niliona hizo corruption reports kwa Sentry. If you search the Sentry, like I think it's a US based something in a fight corruption and stuff. So they actually have a lot of documentation, including some pictures of contracts that were signed to do this, awarded to this, and then companies wanazilink back to specific individuals, including Kinakura.
Those are tenders. When tenders are given and money is released by the government and nothing is done, yes, that one is corruption.
Yeah.
But when contract is awarded and no money has been attached to it, then it's just a contract awarded. I'm saying people are not doing such, they are doing. But when we have not seen those documents, then it's not good just to say somebody is corrupt.
Okay.
So let's look at the question. How did he even end up to be the person to be given the contract? Why him?
Ni kujituma, like I said earlier, right? This guy is
why not other person? So there's something that when you look at it, they don't just happen out of the blue.
Okay.
Yeah, so he put in effort and African resources or African leadership, there's always a lot of corruption here and there. So whenever it was doing, and people from Jonglei State should be keeping quiet. They have been given they have been given their own road. Nobody's complaining about their roads. But what they do is dance on it, take pictures.
Are you saying Jonglei are lazy? But
no, they're just making too much. They should not be blaming Bol Mel too much, because the people that I expect to be talking bad about Bol Mel should be Barkazal, because to them, they have heard that the contract was given to this guy to deliver. It ended somewhere. It has not reached to the final destination. You see there? But Nas Jonglei, you people, man, your road has reached bore. And the reason why, because before that I used to say Nas Jonglei actually need a road, so that when we do farming, our fresh produce can be coming to Juba within 1 hour to 2 hours of harvest.
Yeah.
If it is fish, fresh fish, instead of making dry fish, dry fish is okay, it's taken to far countries. like Congo and Uganda, that one is okay. But for the fresh one that people in Juba need, that one can be easily flourished, like pass ferry to Juba really fast. You see that?
Yeah, true.
But it's not like,
I'm not kwa hizo boats. Lakini I feel like our people are kind of reluctant. You know, venye
they're not actually aggressive with the business itself. So for all those reasons that I have mentioned, I will give Bol Mel my votes if he's the only one with Riek Machar.
Okay.
If it is who else? Let's say that this guy is called Riek Guy Cook.
The current governor of Jonglei State.
Who was Minister of Health. We used to know that things are working.
Yeah.
If it is Riek Guy Cook, it will take my vote. Yes, he's an old person versus Bol Mel.
Oh yeah,
I'll give it to him.
He looked.
It's a unifying factor.
He's doing his job.
Yes,
actually. Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
Same.
And which other and where? If it is
Taban
Dengai versus Riek, I will give Taban.
What if Taban versus Bol Mel?
I don't know. I might give Taban to.
No, for Taban versus Bol Mel, I'll go with Bol Mel. Like Taban ananikalia softy. He's too quiet. You cannot really know what he's planning or what he's doing. So I rarely see him in any political appearances.
No, he did one. He went to Unity State, Bentiu, and came back.
Okay. Like I said, Taban is too relaxed for this major political position. Yeah, he's too calm, not as aggressive in terms of looking for development and stuff. You barely hear anything about him. Yeah. He's not scandalous though. Like ni mtu tu anakaa kwa lane yake, but I don't think he can make a good president. Okay, if you look at Bol Mel versus Majanga Got.
I don't know anything that Majanga God has done, right?
Okay.
People just talk of... I can't really point anything to him that I can say, I know Majanga God because of this, and he deserved the presidency. There's nothing that I actually know about him.
Okay.
Apart from, yes, he was part of the SPLM thing, but then apart from that, anything that he has done, I've not heard of it, unless people tell me.
Between him and someone he's very intellectual. And then akona some sort of military intelligence. I think alifanya some education around that sector. And he has a lot of published articles. Akona some good ideas.
About
so he
what?
can make like a good leader. But
I don't want to criticize my job because people will say I'm on board. But the thing is, I think at some point it was...
And then he seems to have like very good work ethics.
Yeah. So he has a PhD and most people have PhDs, including Machar.
Including watu wenye hawajui
Yes.
kusoma.
And then also the military intelligence that you are talking at the moment, South Sudan is not fighting any external attack again. So that part is really not...
Ataenda kudeal with those raiders and stuff.
So it's going to fight, no. That one is not a reason like to select somebody to be a president.
Okay.
If it was during the time of war, yes, you can say, yeah, somebody with that knowledge is really very...
It's an asset.
Yeah, for it. But if he's going for Ministry of Defense, yes, you guys can say that one.
I think he has ever been in the Ministry of Defense.
Yeah, deputy something like that.
Deputy
it's not
Minister
like...
of Defense.
Yes,
back.
did they streamline the army? Did they streamline the army?
As a deputy, you cannot do much because you have a boss on top of you, right?
In his position, whether no duties allocated to him.
He was doing them. Okay, look for another person. Kuna...
Let's talk about McQuillan and Bol Mel.
McQuillan, no. I'll go for Bol Mel.
You don't worry because he's my board.
Yeah, no, my board or not. No, but like McQuillan talks too much and he's very arrogant. And then also he's old.
Is the nation...
So like with this old age, akona very old type of ideas. Yeah. Hata tu akue kama government spokesperson.
Okay, let's just say what we need right now is young people.
Yeah.
I will not vote for McQuillan.
You don't want Moinbor? You see, for enemies of war.
No. The reason why I say I cannot vote for him is the way that he has actually placed himself. And that means too that he has been in the way that he has always been answering or handling the thing.
He should be somewhere in the defense ministry.
Yeah.
Like he's not supposed. I'm a law enforcement.
Yes.
He's a lawyer by profession.
Because when you work for the government, the kind of answer that he gives are for regular people. For the government, even like when you know the answer is yes or no, you don't say that. You go around it, and it is up to that person to figure it out. Your answer from there.
Yeah,
but for him,
very rude.
Ni wale wa mtadu, so he just answer them the way that a regular guy will answer things.
Yeah.
Are you sitting? Yes, I'm sitting. Can't you see I'm sitting?
You just say no, maybe my back pains, a lot.
Yeah, so for that reason, he has portrayed himself as somebody that will be, if people criticize him, it will be like, why are people talking bad about my government? And the freedom of expression might be a problem.
Yeah. I feel like your Ministry of Information Technology and Communication should go to maybe someone younger, mwenye ako into tech.
People say he has a degree in law.
Communication.
So he should go to the Justice Department and something like that. Because
ako misplaced sana. Yeah.
But anyway, they're getting old.
They're getting out,
so they should not be an option that we should be looking at the moment.
Yeah, and then
we should look at the young people. No, that guy is extremely old. He's also old. So let's not talk of old people. He's old too.
Maybe ako 70s.
Yeah, so 70, 75.
Yeah, like someone in the 70s.
And then before Salva Kiir let go of the power, he will be 80. No.
What about a young Deng Tianko?
To be a president or to be a media person?
Neither mweka kwa Ministry of Information and Communication.
Well, we are not here to discuss how to place people that we know.
No, let's
talk about people in political realm, people that are actually in parties.
Ungesema he's not in politics. But he's a nice guy. Anaweza kuwa sawa kwa communication sector.
Yes.
You're gonna idea about media and stuff.
Yeah. But the way that political things work is not like, because society see you are good at something, bring that person, come put it in. No.
You have to be interested in it.
You have to be interested. You have to go to where people start and start from there.
Na kijana Ali amekuwa akisema
because no. He has to move to South Sudan.
you don't like Bol.
Let him start from there. No, he has to go to South Sudan.
Okay.
And unajua, our people like talking of, I have these degrees and these degrees and these degrees. But we are not actually practicing anything to show that you are learned. Then you just did them and they're just piece of papers that if you happen to pass. I actually saw a burial somewhere that was happening and somebody died.
In South Sudan?
No, in Kenya. And people took all his certificate. And then they were saying, these were the athlete thing, and now you are going to go with them. And then they were thrown into the
They threw the certificates. That's not good.
So who was going to use them anyway?
No, just keep them
for what reason?
Memorabilia.
No, some things, like, if you are educated, you should be doing things. Not this idea of just accumulating degrees and be talking about them. If you are not using them, then they are just piece of paper.
Void.
We might have just end up throwing on your back when you die. But that's not what we're talking about. The thing is,
we are looking for the next president.
For the next president. So
okay, so the consensus is that we need someone who's young, not these old people who have the old way of doing things, and people who don't have a track record of doing something right for the country. Because like we said earlier, the country is backward. Sahi, if you compare, let's say, Rwanda, so from 1994 to now, that's like 30 years, 31, right? South Sudan from 2005 to now, that's 20 years. So see, but if you look at the difference in terms of development, the difference is more than 10-year difference. Unaona?
It's more about exposure.
Yeah.
Kagame is learned. Kagame is more exposed.
Yeah.
He wants something good for his country. And he always look for the best for his country.
So he's actually a dictator who's working.
Yes.
Recently, Nilion, I think they signed a deal to have deportees taken to Rwanda, something like that.
Yes, if there's money to be made, then let them come and stay with our facility.
Come and deal with them.
Yeah.
A few specifics have emerged, but we know the Trump administration has been in discussions with Rwanda to receive deportees from the United States, similar to the way El Salvador has taken more than 250 deported migrants from the U.S. in exchange for millions of dollars. Those deportations have faced fierce criticism in the U.S., with some arguing migrants were deported without due process. But despite the backlash, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. is looking to expand deportations into other countries.
Beyond that, and I say this unapologetically, we are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are actively, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better.
Rwanda's foreign minister confirms the two countries are in the, quote, early stages of negotiations to send deported migrants to the African nation. The talks come as the U.S. has sought to broker a peace deal between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Trump administration has framed potential deportations to Rwanda as an example of the kind of cooperation that could be possible if a peace deal is agreed to. The Washington Post reports Rwanda has already received at least one deportee, a man from Iraq with alleged ties to the Islamic State terrorist group. In the past, the UK and Denmark have explored plans to send migrants to Rwanda, but those efforts were stopped amid public backlash and legal challenges. Jim Spellman, CGTN, Washington.
And then also,
you make use of them.
See, he's the only African country who advertised his country on English Premier League.
Oh yeah, visit
Soccer.
Rwanda.
Visit Rwanda. And they have had that one for I think since I was in Africa or when I came here for over 8 years. Visit Rwanda, not Africa.
Yeah. I think one advertising hata kwa hizo jerseys za Arsenal.
Yeah, it's on the Arsenal jerseys. That's what I'm talking about. Visit Rwanda.
And then inakuanga hapo kwa play.
Yeah, so like what does it do? Other people will say, oh, it's a small money. No, it's waste
a lot of money. Yeah.
They will say it's a waste of government resources because now you are paying Arsenal to advertise you. But the thing is, when people see it, people start flogging to Rwanda.
They become curious and want to know what is it that's happening in this country.
People arriving at Rwanda, they will stay in hotels. They will use their money in Rwanda to buy foods to eat. They will use transport to move around. Yeah. So when a lot of visitors go to Rwanda, more money is spent in Rwanda compared to what has been used to advertise it on Arsenal. Yeah. So there's a big benefit, and it also put them on the map.
Yeah, it brings some sort of exposure.
Yeah, but let's say if it was Riek Guy Cook versus Bol Mel, Riek Guy Cook will take it. Puot Kang versus
Bol Mel. I would go with Puot. Yeah, he seems very very composed and strategic. Unaona tangu ashikilie hiyo Ministry of Petroleum, things have been running smoothly. He has really tried his best compared to whoever was there.
The previous guys.
Yeah, so that guy is really good. Yeah, and then ni mtu amesoma pia, so anajielewa. I don't know if he's a doctor, but it doesn't matter. We've seen worse doctors doing nothing.
Yeah. So this issue of election, if I was Machar, if he was to be released from his house arrest, I would have not accepted what Salva Kiir said before when... Okay, so the SPLM leadership wanted the election to be held. I think is it next year or was it this year?
I think it was supposed to be in 2024, but then they extended it, I think, for 24 months or so.
Yeah, so and then these people were saying, the country is not ready for election. And the more they keep postponing it, the more these guys getting older.
And people are getting stagnant too.
Yeah, he's getting older, so his chance of becoming a president keep reducing. Because if elections are held today, this is when people are going to show other people dust.
Yes.
And he should okay, we are just tired of this thing of one party since 2011 doing the thing. Let's go for election. If I lose, another party will form in 4 years' time. And this is the easy way of getting rid of SPLM. But if we keep the things status quo the way that they are, no, these people are just going to keep ruling. You just enjoy your vice presidency, but in the long run, you are running out of time.
So if you were Riek Machar, what would you do?
Doesn't matter. I will say, let's go for election.
Okay.
If they will steal it, they will steal it. So it doesn't make anything, because right now it's not like I'm becoming a president, right?
Yeah.
I'm just a vice president. And if the more they keep me at that position, I'm getting older with time.
Yeah. Okay, so if I were to be Riek Machar right now, and then let's say these stories of house arrest and stuff, if
Were
it's to be
lifted.
released,
Yeah.
then given my age, man, like I said last time, at 70, really, you should not be fighting about these positions. But Riek is very ambitious, and there's that Ngundeng thing, prophecies and stuff. Those are myths.
But
Yes, if they said it, whenever they said it, if it has not happened, si lazima ifanyike. Maybe another Nuer son can take over. Unaona? It doesn't have to be you. If I were him, I would just step down from the opposition and groom strong men like Mel Puot Kang. He's still energetic, very young. I think ako maybe mid-40s hapo. Kama ameenda sana. So that person still has time. And then for presidency, I think they say like the cutoff age according to Constitution 2011 is 40 years. So at 40, this person is still very young. So he still has like a lot of different terms to vie for elections.
No age limit for
No,
one
hakuna. There's no age limit.
We should
There's
put
just
it at 65.
youngest is like
We should
40.
put it at 65.
Yeah. So like at 40,
so that we easily get rid of all these old leaders.
yeah, like at 70, 72, what else do you really want? And then election ikiisha, utaona next election anataka kunini pia, because you still want to retain that position. Just retire and bring other people. You don't have to be the leader of that country. Like leadership when you are extremely old age inakusumbua, unapigana na vitu kama arthritis, other lifestyle diseases. Your body is technically tired, unaona? And then it's not like mwenye alizaliwa akaishi maisha mzuri. You've been in the bush almost all your life, fighting hapa na pale. So you don't really have the energy. Sahi ni time ya relax. You can just bring in somebody else and then teach him your ways. Yeah. And that way you'll even live ni kama your life is more fulfilled. Because when you see someone whom you mentored achieving things that you did not achieve, you feel like whatever you did was kind of beneficial. And that's what the country needs. Not someone who's old, ati unaamka asubuhi, you need to wake up by 4 a.m. to address the nation, kuna state of emergency. And saa hizo vitu kaa dementia, memory loss, those things.
Yeah, and South Sudan is not a country where all the systems have been set to function on their own. That the national security are doing their own things and they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
No, they all depend on you. You have to make decisions for them, or you have to be consulted for this and this. But if it is a country that is streamlined well, every department just does the work
seamlessly.
And then you just get an update. But here, South Sudan, everything is mixed up.
Like it's just too technical for someone in their 70s.
Yeah, and then when let's 2026, both two leaders to give us a chance by leaving the political scene, man. And we have somebody.
Yeah, and then you bring in youngings, at least to prove us wrong. isikweni kama nyinyi ndio mumehinder the progress of the country. Leteni watu young and then we see, okay, so these young people are also not doing anything. Then tutaona sasa shida ni sisi. Unaona? But then if you have all people holding on to positions, you find hata hiyo kitu ina lead to a lot of unemployment because you should be enjoying your pension in retirement. And then your children sasa, not necessarily your own kids, but watu wenye ni age mate wa your children are the ones running the system. Yeah, that way you recycle like energetic people who are actually doing what they are supposed to do, and not someone who's too tired to work.
And if you had the opportunity or if you have the desire to join the South Sudan politics, how will you do it? Will you just think that because you have PhD, people will elect you, or because you have a master's, oh, this is our most educated elect? How will you go about it?
Like my views when it comes to things like education, it's not just having those papers. You need to implement them. Whatever you have studied, are you utilizing it? That's what I look at.
Okay, but how will you get into the political
get into
realm?
Politics, I'll go to the ground first and then see the situation, assess the situation to see like what is needed here and there. Personally, I'm very passionate about things to do with women empowerment, education, sana ya girl child, because I see most of our people think the only way maisha ya msichana inaweza badilika is through getting married.
But I don't think if you are people will not, because you are doing that now, they are going to pick on you. Let me know, like, how will that one lead you to political?
No, you go to the ground and then implement things, do things that offer those basic services. If I can start a school, start a foundation, and then touch the lives of the real people on the ground. And then from there, you can make your intentions known that you would like to vie for this seat. But your seat maybe like women rep, and then you're going to represent their interest. And when you get that position, you do what you went there to do. You represent them so that they see the products of their votes. Unaona? And that way, like as time continues, next time if you want a higher position, let's say you are the governor of Jonglei State, then people would have track record of how you do your things, what you have done from the time you came up to now. This is what this person has done. So that's what I would do.
Okay.
And you?
For me, it will be a little bit different. Okay. One, it will be look for money, be filthy rich, have a lot of money.
Okay.
Once I have a lot of money, then now let's take, for example, at that point, the party will still be SPLM and whatever, and SPLM IO. At that point, I have money. I join SPLM if I want to join it, or I join SPLM IO if I want to join that one. And then I start attending community meetings. People are having meeting here, I go there, give them $200. They are launching
$200 come a community, I'm an individual.
To the community, they will have to
stingy one nigga.
No. It's just an example. It all depends with how rich you are.
Okay.
Go to another Sunday church. You go, you give something. You buy them the doors and the windows.
So you are bribing.
You are just everywhere. And then now, because you have money, you'll have access to the powerful people in the society where they meet. Because when you have no money, take for example, if I have no money,
you cannot go to Pyramid.
Let's say I have for transport and I go to Pyramid. I will not be allowed to go to the BIP lounge where the president and the vice president, the other ministers are chilling.
Okay.
But when I'm a big boy, I have the money.
Big
Even
baller.
the hotel people want to say, this is where we have the BIPs. I go chill there. Go introduce myself. This is Jimosi.
I'm in tech industry.
I'm in this industry. I have
oil
this
and
company.
gas.
I have this number of employees.
Okay.
This is what we do. Anything that government want to be done, Government say, oh yeah, we have this standard that none of our suppliers or
Has
whatever
the
has
capacity.
Yeah. Then you just get it. And then they know you. And that's how you get it.
Okay.
But if you go with empty hand,
No, I said I'm going to start a foundation and stuff.
Yes.
When you start a foundation
with that
without
foundation,
money,
you are just
I'll
going to
get
be a
money.
humanitarian assistant. You are going to be a humanitarian worker.
No, like opening a school, that's an investment. It might not be like a high-end profit
You
school,
see,
but
right now, a lot of people are doing that. But we don't know them.
I know
But
who
see-
you RM something.
Yeah.
RM. That Monbor.
He's a business person. He's a
No,
business.
that person, I feel like he'll join politics very soon.
Yes, he can easily join because he has money now. He has so many schools from primary to high school.
I think Akona yo Amonto, that's the latest school.
He
And
has
then
no, you can't count them. He has so many schools, over 10
kuna ile
schools.
shule wanakuanga hadi na media something.
He has over 10 schools.
Wow, that's a lot.
So that
Is
guy
it
can
taken?
easily, people know him. He can easily join politics.
Okay.
So, but he was just a regular. There are people now that have
Not a regular
schools,
person.
but they only have one school. You don't know them. But now he has several. We all know him, and these are big school.
Okay.
So you really need a lot of money.
Yeah, I think you're the owner of Darling Wisdom Academy.
Yes.
Ni yeye pia.
Yeah, that's it. He is.
I want to know the owner of that school. Modern Academy.
Yeah, so when you have money, the modern guy is just you're not going to know him. He's a regular guy.
Yeah.
That's why he only has one high school. He would have sprayed so
you're
many
people in
modern.
primary and secondary school.
Yeah, so that's why he only
Combined.
have one school. That's what
Well,
I'm
but
trying
it's
to
a
say.
big school, so maybe he's still
It's
going
just
to
one.
take it and he'll go.
It's
It's just
taking
one. How many do
It's
you
taking
have?
him too long.
Rome was not built on one day.
Walai, so if I were to tell any young person saying that you have a PhD, you have this, you need leadership, no, you'll not be given because of that.
Yeah.
You need one
money.
thing. You need one thing.
Money is power.
Money and
power
communication.
Is money.
Those two things. Kila mtu atakuwa atako kiss your ass.
Boot leaking.
Yes.
Okay.
So, there are people right now.
Let's
I
work
don't
for
want to-
money. I'll go into politics.
I
I know
don't
you
know.
are not interested, but I'll be the governor. And then governor narudi nyumbani.
All right, so
Jimosi
that's it
mtu
for
wa
Jimosi
biashara.
podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel.
There's something you wanted to say. You could
No, I've ended there. I just need money to easily get into the politics because there's something they call caucus in Juba. It's for some young people that have money.
Okay.
Umesikia that caucus forum?
No.
No, it was a big deal sometime back that people
Sijasikia.
want to join.
Okay.
Elijah is a member.
Ni kama hizo like nini? It's
Means
like
stop.
hizo vitu za ma
It's just a community thing.
association.
It's just like a small association. They're trying
Okay.
to make it grow like a political thing.
Like a national thing, not community based.
Yeah, it's not like community based, but
Okay.
sometimes I see it has a lot of dinkas.
Okay, Kina
The
Elijah.
Minister of
Elijah
Finance.
needs to show us his ways, man. That
The Minister
guy
of Finance is in there. He's a member. So you see that if I go
Minister
now,
of Finance.
there's a guy there,
Okay.
the young person. I don't know his name, but I know his photo, how he look. So if I go right now, I'll not join them.
Why?
I don't have the money muscles. But if I build myself, I will easily fit in. So
Yeah.
those are some of places that you get access to when you have money.
You network.
But this
And then
politics
you
of
find
just talking
connections.
and you have empty pocket, my friend. Hadi utazeeka with your political views na huko.
We need money. Yeah, like pesa is very important.
It opens so many doors.
Yes. People say, oh, pesa is money is the source of all evils, but that's false. Hiyo ni way of keeping you poor. Ama ni poor people mentality. When you have money, you have access to so many things. Yeah, and you can easily do things. Unaona hii kitu like ati unalala sijui nini. You can just decide, acha niende nilale France. Kesho naenda Rwanda. Kesho kutwa niko Tanzania. Simply because you have money.
No, I
You
can't.
go to Kenya.
Those one will not
In-
make me
in-
happy. I'll just stay with my money wherever I am.
And die
You
with
might
it.
be flying, and then you just plane crash. You die with the money. You can't just be increasing your chances of death. You
are
minimize
talking
them.
like that because you are poor. Otherwise, you'll be talking of going on a yacht. Unaenda cruise ship, sijui sahii muko Spain, ko Barcelona, wapi. Money makes life enjoyable. That's what I'm saying. And then it makes you able to change the lives of other people too.
Yeah.
Because angalia people like Bill Gates, the kind of foundations they are funding, the kind of facilities, let's say, investing in the healthcare system and stuff. Without money, do you think they would be doing those things? No. So you need money.
All right. So that's it for Jimosi podcast. Please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel and see you in the next video.
Road to 500 subscribers.
Yes.